Over the last few years, the partnership between Microsoft and OpenAI became the center of the artificial intelligence industry. By pooling resources, they built systems that dictated the pace of software development globally. This early success relied on a tightly closed loop. OpenAI developed the breakthrough software, and it was strictly bound to Microsoft's computing infrastructure. But developing larger, more capable AI models requires an exponentially increasing amount of physical computing power. Recently, the sheer volume of processing required hit a physical ceiling. Relying entirely on a single cloud provider meant that no matter how fast Microsoft built new servers, it simply couldn't keep up with OpenAI's global demand. What began as a strategic advantage had turned into a bottleneck. To understand this bottleneck, we have to look past the code and focus on the concrete and steel. Training the next generation of artificial intelligence requires vast physical server farms operating around the clock. The industry now measures this infrastructure requirement in gigawatts. To put that in perspective, a single gigawatt is roughly enough energy to run a mid-sized city, and AI development now requires multiple gigawatts of continuous power. Looking at this funnel diagram, you can see the scaling limit clearly. Massive demands for gigawatt-scale computing power are pouring in at the top, but they are all forced through a single provider's deployment pipeline at the bottom, choking the output. To reach the capacity required to serve billions of users, the two companies realized they had to break apart their own exclusive architecture and open up multiple avenues for deployment. That realization led directly to an official pivot. In April 2026, Microsoft and OpenAI announced an amended agreement to rewrite the rules of their partnership. Under the new terms, Microsoft maintains its status as the primary cloud partner, meaning new OpenAI products still ship first on Azure. However, OpenAI is now officially authorized to serve its technology to customers using any competing cloud provider. The second major adjustment in the document targets intellectual property. Previously, Microsoft held highly restrictive rights to OpenAI's models. As this timeline diagram illustrates, Microsoft will continue to hold a license to OpenAI's intellectual property through the year 2032. But notice how the path branches out here. That license is now non-exclusive, freeing OpenAI to license its tech to other organizations. By cutting the strict ties to a single cloud network and opening up the licensing model, OpenAI transitions from a tightly held corporate asset into a broad, independent platform capable of operating everywhere at once. Beyond the software and servers, the 2026 amendment also untangles a highly complex financial web. For years, the two companies operated with a mutual revenue-sharing structure that heavily intertwined their balance sheets. This flowchart maps the new arrangement. Microsoft has entirely eliminated its policy of paying revenue back to OpenAI. Meanwhile, revenue share payments from OpenAI to Microsoft continue through 2030, but are strictly contained under a financial cap. Even with these direct revenue streams capped and severed, Microsoft maintains its overarching position as a massive, direct shareholder in OpenAI's overall equity. Simplifying these financials removes their mutual codependency. Both corporations now have the agility to pursue independent growth and respond to market shifts without the friction of shared revenue obligations. With the legal and financial restrictions cleared out of the way, the partnership can now redirect its vast resources toward the future. Instead of spending energy managing exclusive software deployments, Microsoft and OpenAI are heavily collaborating on the physical hardware layer that will power the next decade of computing. That includes working together to design next-generation silicon. They are engineering specialized chips optimized to handle the massive processing loads of artificial intelligence. In an environment where AI software can run on any cloud provider, owning and improving the underlying physical hardware becomes the ultimate strategic advantage for both companies. The technology landscape is shifting away from closed bilateral silos towards an era of open deployment. By stripping away their restrictive legal and financial ties, Microsoft and OpenAI have given each other the flexibility to operate faster and tackle rising competition from other tech giants without needing permission for every move. The alliance has transitioned into a decentralized structure, allowing it to function as a global platform rather than a localized corporate tool. By decoupling their deployment strategies and building massive physical capacity, Microsoft and OpenAI have positioned themselves to reach users across every major cloud ecosystem.